Matt Hayes.
Big asses, big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bed Bath & Beyond. Nothing says football like scented soap.
How you like me now?
Nothing says the beginning of a new era like signing a player at the highest available contract at his position, okay? That's exactly what happened just earlier as we begin our Mocama Beer Company Monday, and we stare at X and we look for the latest. But the Jaguars have made a move with the legal tampering period underway just a couple of short hours ago, fellas. So we will get into it. But Jordan Lewis is now the newest Jacksonville Jaguar, according to the reports. I want to say Rap Sheet maybe was the first guy to come out with it, but they're making him in other words, they're making him the nickel, but they had to spend a whole hell of a lot of nickels to get to him. Okay, so what do you think? A lot of coin.
Why do I feel like Trent Baalke's still here?
Oh, come on,
Matt Hayes.
Yeah,
Come
what
on.
are you talking about?
You know we needed the DB. Listen, I know you're mad. No guard. I was a little upset too initially. Yeah. No guard.
Yeah.
Or no center guard.
I mean.
Matt, what he's doing, and we don't know whether this is a good move or not.
He's keeping the funk on the team. We got rid of the funk.
I'm trying not to, bro.
Yeah.
I really am.
But just think about this.
Trying to be positive. But
They
just paid top dollar for a guy.
What are you talking about? If you would have said that last year about Darnell Savage, he was a guy. He came from a playoff team, but he was a guy. And so this team is trying to replace the guy that got signed as being just a guy last year. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying
Darnell Savage is still on the roster, by the way.
Well, yeah, because they still have to look contractually as far as what they're going to be able to do with everything. They still don't have their safety position fixed. Okay, so Darnell Savage can still be a part of this football team at that safety spot, but he's a guy who bounced back and forth between safety and nickel. Now I'm looking at Leon. I need some optimism. I just came back, and Matt's already.
He got me going in the pre-meeting.
What did I do? I didn't say anything. I just told you that we just
He looked at me and he goes, bro, he's now the most expensive nickel in the league.
We just paid top dollar for the,
This team does have a penchant for paying top dollar.
We do. We got to stop that overpaying guys to come here to Jacksonville because that hasn't worked out for us too well.
I think what it is, though, Big, is that they want it right now. Like in this particular setting, you got to throw some cash at a guy because when the legal tampering is beginning, you can only assume that it's been going on over the course of the weekend. And there's been some back and forth and trying to make sure that a guy says yes to come here. And this is just the reality right now, is that you're going to have to make this an attractive position. And right now, I think this is the worry that you have had before, is that paying guys the top dollar to come here without anything else that you can you can build into attracting.
But what else can you reflect on? This team was 4-13 last year. I mean, the only way you're going to get essentially a guy like this to come to Jacksonville, so you got to overpay. Hell, y'all overpaid for me to come. Y'all were 4-12 when y'all
Bro,
overpaid
you were
for me?
25 and you'd been to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, well, I was in the
You were a
trajectory.
riser.
Before the season begins, he'll turn 30.
Yeah, he's on the down end. I mean, he's 29 years old right now.
He'll be 30 in August.
He's got 8 years. He got what, 10 interceptions in 8 years? Something like that.
Yeah, I like I said, he comes in with good stock, and Coach Campbell will be with us tomorrow, and he'll have, I would think, a fair amount of intel based on the people that he will talk to in Dallas. One of his old guys on the staff, Mike Zimmer, is the coordinator there. So we'll have a better idea of what it looks like. But at the very least, what you're looking at is, and I'm not going to say that I didn't look at Darnell Savage and say, hey, this is going to help this football team, because I did. That's what I believed. But I also believed in Rick Nielsen not being a cheap trick. He ended up being a terrible defensive coordinator. And so all this has to come together. Got to find the right guys. You're going to have to pay for a few of them. I don't believe, going to be throwing money at free agents left and right. So whoever they do choose, they got to choose carefully.
Yeah, my only concern is if you wait too long, it becomes slim pickings as far as the guys that we're trying to get.
Well, just take a look at this. If you like a few guys, and this is like one or two guys that we had identified, and I know that I certainly was looking at the idea of a DJ Reed coming in here. The Vikings got a 2-year deal with Isaiah Rodgers, another one of the cornerbacks that comes off the board. Carlton Davis is a guy that we certainly were looking at and liked. He's already agreed to terms. DJ Reed, like we just mentioned, the Detroit Lions with him because they're losing Davis. And so this is going to be a lot of back and forth. And a lot of people are going to be throwing a lot of money around just to see where it goes.
I'm all right with a 30-year-old nickel corner if we get a couple guards that are,
Yeah.
If you get Freeze, I'll be happy with that. I'll be good with that.
Yeah, and it's funny because if you think about whether you want to pay a premium amount for important positions and take a look at the dollars that are being put out there right now. Okay, I don't think you want to go pay for a wide receiver, as an example, right now, because the amount of money that DK Metcalf just got to leave Seattle and go to Pittsburgh, the amount of money that even Devontae Adams, when we thought, heck, he's going to be looking around for a while. No, he ain't. He's already an LA Ram, and he's going to make, $40+ million guaranteed.
I think it was 2 years, 40 something.
Okay, yeah. And so I want to say it's an average of 24 per, but he was scheduled to make a lot more than that. But it's still a bunch of cash that this guy's got coming his way. And so you have to make the decision. Do you want to put a bunch of money in, let's just use the cornerback as an example, or an expensive guard, which might be pricey, but it's a hell of a lot smarter to do that maybe right now, like Will Freeze, like you're mentioning,
Right.
that can come in here and immediately be one of the sources of improving that offensive line right here, right now. Pay him and then start going and getting some of that younger talent at key skill positions.
He's also a younger guy.
Yeah.
Certainly younger
Looking
than
at that first
Andrew
contract.
Norwell or Brandon Sheriff. So I mean, you're not following along that mistake laden road. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's something different. He's clearly a guy that's on the come too. So yeah, that would be a great. I mean, there's other teams out there obviously bidding for him,
Right.
but I think that would be a terrific signing. To me, it's just, I mean, clearly we have to wait and see where this thing plays out. It's just the first one. The look on Leon's face when I walked in the room was like, "You're not going to believe what they did."
Yeah, I did. I mean, when I found out he was the highest paid corner in the league, I was like, "Here we go again."
Yeah, highest paid nickel. Let's
Nickel.
just make. Yeah.
Highest paid nickel in the league. Yeah, I was having flashbacks. Because we've had a tendency over the years to do that kind of stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
No, but see, I'll be okay. But at least I would love to get Freeze, but we're going to be in a bid war with the Colts. Colts, they're pretty sure they love him too.
Yeah.
I mean, he came off an injury last year, but whatever. I mean, but
They're not going to be the only team.
But if you got somebody sustainable like that at your offensive line position, you don't let him go. So you're going to have to spend to get him or pull him away. And his loyalty might be to them anyway.
Sure. All right, so you guys let us know. 641-1010. You are a diehard Jaguar fan. You're watching, you're waiting, you're looking to see what goes down. You're paying attention to what's happening inside the AFC South, what's happening around the National Football League. So you hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. Give us some thoughts on what has happened and what you think might be coming down the pike. And I think if most Jaguar fans are looking at it, if they had their druthers right now, they'd like to sprinkle in 2, 3, maybe even 4 decent free agent signings. Don't go over the top on all of them expense-wise, but then do that and then start looking at what your future looks like through the draft. That's probably the best way to attack this.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's why I'm not panicking right now. I mean, but you know, if you're slowing the trigger, you don't want to settle for guys. You have a board of free agent guys that you want to go after. And if you don't make the move on them, then you're going to find yourself in a situation selling for guys in free agency that you otherwise did. Not saying you didn't want them, but right. I'm just saying that the slim pickings becomes even more apparent once you don't get on the guys that you initially wanted. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
All right. You guys, when you start looking at what needs to happen, and I think most would agree, is that you just start boiling it down. They need a corner opposite Tyson Campbell, so that's still going to be addressed. They needed to make sure that nickel position was shored up. They still haven't completely fixed the safety spot. That's going to have to be looked at carefully, either in free agency or in the draft. And there's definitely still some nice safeties that are out there. We're going to keep looking at this, the other deals that are being made. But there's some good quality players out there.
We were just talking about freezing. You're trying to have to pull him from the court. Don't ever underestimate the ability of mama in these situations. Okay, I'm talking about the wife and the kids.
Mama matters.
Mama matters because you got.
Mama likes cash too.
Mama likes cash, but
mama likes no state tax too.
Mama likes familiarity.
Yeah, Chris Godwin allegedly took a big hometown or gave a big hometown discount to the Bucks, and they're saying he left like $20 million on the table potentially for maybe like New England.
What does Tony Romo think about that? That much he left on the table? Are you kidding? Oh, that is a lot. Holy smokes!
Allegedly,
yeah. But I'm just saying, mama and the kids, once they get comfortable in the environment situation, I mean, it gets hard to pull your family away from that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
so it got to be how you say, nasty cash to get you up out the house and move to somewhere else.
Huge, nasty cash.
Absolutely. So
you got to get a new set of friends. You got to get a new social circle that you're walking
it's all about
into.
mama and the kids.
New quarterback.
Yeah.
More importantly, if you're Chris Godwin.
All of that. And so it's always going to be a factor. It's true. And it's so funny because the other part of it is, just using Chris Godwin as an example, and like JJ said, allegedly, he left a lot of money. Mama also doesn't like leaving a lot of money on the table either.
True, facts.
So you kind of got to weigh both of them.
Taxes in New England, though.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like, how much money are you really leaving on the table?
Yeah, because you think of what New England's doing right now is they're making what you would consider bigger moves than they have in years past. When Bill Belichick watched Tom Brady go off and win the Super Bowl down in Tampa Town, that's when he decided, hey, I'm spending a bunch of money. And they spent more money in one offseason than they had the entire 3 years before that combined. Well, guess what? It didn't work out. It was not a colossal fail, but it dang sure didn't work out. And so now they're trying to catch up again. Now that Belly's out, they got ultimately a lot of money to spend. What's that?
$121 million.
Oh my gosh.
Ridiculous how much money they have.
Yeah. And so they're trying to figure out exactly where they're going to put it and how it's all going to shake out. All right. So 641-1010, you guys jump in on that subject. We'd love to hear from you. Mocama Beer Company, Monday. You can enjoy coffee every single day of the week. We like to set you up on Mondays because you're going to go through the rest of the week. If you're up in Fernandina Beach, just drop on by their beautiful tap room, South 8th Street, right as you enter the historic district, and then also their Wildlight location. Tuesday through Sunday, you can enjoy some delicious craft. You can look for them all over wherever they're pouring great craft, or at ABC or Total Wine. Check out mocama.com. So the next position, both of you guys agree, you want it to be interior offensive line.
I think the next two should be interior offensive line.
Yeah. Well,
But, I mean, it depends. They're negotiating with people right now. It just all depends on who agrees and who doesn't agree.
Right.
It could be an edge guy that agrees. It's just a matter of the sequencing of it. I think if they had their way, of course, the first two would be guards or a guard and a center. They'd love that because that's what everyone wants.
Yeah, there's already been a center has already agreed to big terms. We've already seen Milton Williams, the guy that I would have loved interiorly as far as defense goes. He's already agreed.
The Panthers.
Yeah, to the Panthers. And he had him a couple sacks, so he's in the Super Bowl, so he's made himself some money. That's for sure. Going into the free agent period at this time, certainly picked the right time to be a shining star in the Super Bowl. So he probably did cost a little too much money. And I'll have to look at the numbers that Carolina threw his way. Yeah. But that's it. You're just trying to sprinkle in those reinforcements.
Just think about a guy like Mekhi Becton, all right?
I would love the idea.
He came with the Eagles on the cheap, started, won a Super Bowl. So now they bet on him. They bet on him. They they resurrected his career to where he's in free agency now. So I mean, to get him away from Philadelphia and that organization after coming out the Super Bowl,
right?
Well, you're gonna have to pull out the Brink truck. You're gonna have to.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I mean, I love him interiorly. I don't know if he's an elite guard. I think he's a good guard. I mean, he's played it 1 year and played it well. Does that make him elite? Not really.
Well, no. It's
because they moved him inside. He was on a 1 year deal. They moved him inside it and then working out.
Yeah.
Having Saquon Barkley doesn't hurt it as well.
No.
He makes you look good sometimes.
Yeah, he makes you look real good.
So he's going to want elite guard money for only playing it 1 year.
Right. And let's not also forget that the guys he was playing next to were pretty good too.
Yeah, Lane Johnson, Hall of Famer.
Yeah. And they had Johnson, Hall of Famer, then Mekhi. Then you had Cam Jurgens, very, very good interior lineman. Landon Dickerson next to him. So all in all, very good up front bunch for Philadelphia.
Yeah, when you got that much good around you,
I
mean, it's going to elevate your play as well.
Yeah.
You're going to be held accountable.
Yeah, exactly. All right, JJ, hit it.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Speaking of the Eagles, and we were just talking about the Pats, so it was rumored that Milton Williams, the defensive tackle for the Eagles, would land with the Panthers. But now, I guess it's official. Rappaport's saying the Patriots now are taking the biggest defender off the market. He gets $26 million a year. And so now they have Milton Williams, Carlton Davis, Morgan Moses, and Robert Spillane. Am I saying that right? All added today for the Patriots.
Because Morgan Moses is $24 million. Do you have Carlton Davis's number there?
$26 million?
Yeah, because it's also up there. Because he's
Carlton Davis is 3 years, $60 million. I'm sure. Only 35 guaranteed.
Okay, all right. So
that's the thing about these NFL contracts. When they're reported, they're fake news.
Well, dude, I just want to go over. We'll do it coming up here in a second. The amount of money that Myles Garrett has guaranteed is just nuts. And then also, before free agency actually started, all the guys that were signed or dealt or made a move on, it was a $1 billion weekend in the National Football League. And that's not exaggerating. Okay? We'll throw the numbers at you coming up here in just a second.
But Myles Garrett is way up here.
Oh, yeah.
And Milton Williams is way down there.
Yes. Okay.
26 mil.
Okay, let's just go over the numbers with him compared to Myles Garrett coming up here.
He was basically a hockey line for the Eagles.
Nah, he wasn't that.
Near the end of the season, he got better. There's no doubt. Near the end.
He was not a hockey. Don't put him in the same group.
He was just how many. I'm going to look how many plays he played this year.
Right.
You'll be shocked at
but he
how many
did emerge at the right time.
Yeah.
But that's the way free agency works. As you see a shiny new toy, you got to throw a bunch of money at him to make him yours. It is XL Primetime,
where electrifying moments come to life.
Inside of a minute to play.
And legendary performances live.
A monumental milestone in our legendary career.
1010XL, the power of Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and my knee was getting worse, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Jags fans, here's your chance to score a trip to Green Bay for round 1 of draft night. Through the Everbank Draft Night Experience Sweepstakes, one lucky winner and a guest will be there live and in person to see the Jaguars make their first pick. To enter, visit everbank.com/draft by April 4th. That's everbank.com/draft. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 3/3/25 to 4/4/25. For official rules, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/draft. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A.
Florida homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Universal Roof and Contract protects your home and your wallet. Invest in a stronger roof and save big. Spend $6,000 and get up to $600 off. $15,000 up to $2,000 off. $20,000 up to $3,000 off. This deal ends March 31st. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL is the home of Gator Nation and the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. I'm Hacker, and we keep you connected with the University of Florida all year long. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town. Setting the standard in our hometown. Quality service, the best around. Coolidge is the cat that cares about your heating and about your air. Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Need the perfect spot to unwind with friends, family, or coworkers? Dart Bar on King Street. Darts, pool, air hockey, foosball, and more. Dart Bar has the games to keep the fun rolling, with 20 taps, 200 plus cans, and plenty of non-alcoholic options. Dart Bar has something for everyone. Plus, they host community events and leagues and can accommodate everything from company happy hours to milestone birthdays. Dart Bar is your go-to place for fun, drinks, and great times, no matter the occasion.
Hi, it's Rick Ballou. I hope you'll join me and some former NFL players for an incredible event at the end of March, the Lone Warrior Foundation 2025 Champions of Hope Charity Golf and Tennis Challenge. March 31st at Marsh Landing will support single-parent families in their fight against cancer. An opportunity to win sensational prizes, but more importantly, we will bring meaningful hope and support to the lives of families affected. To sign up, go to LoneWarriorFoundation.com. That's LoneWarriorFoundation.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Marked it at the 46. It's a gain of 27. Mayfield now. Shot down the field. It's McMillan. He got it. No, picked off by Lewis. Lewis fought him for it and took it away. Jordan Lewis, the interception.
He took a stiff left hand right to the face mask. Before that got there, McMillan had the ball and just had it completely taken away from him.
Mondays on XL Primetime, brought to you by Mokama. Check out their great craft in the tap room in Fernandina Beach.
Let me tell you something. Mike Tirico just made that guy sound like an all-pro.
I was just going to say, you know why?
I love it.
Tirico's a Michigan grad.
I love it.
Jordan Lewis is a Michigan grad. That's why he loves him. Jordan Lewis.
So that's it, huh? Other than he actually made a play?
No, he made a play.
Yeah.
1 of 10 in 8 years.
Yeah. All right. We just barely got into free agency, and we are already.
I love just getting you. It's so easy to get you going, man.
I know.
It's just
It's
so
like,
easy.
I look forward to these days, okay? The first day of the players, I'm trying to picture what he's going to say. All these guys suck. You know, I just don't understand it.
Matt likes the funk, bro.
Yeah.
He likes it hovering around the city.
So there's got to be some kind of balance here. It can't be all pom-pom
Very true. But
Facts.
My only thing is that I need to see what they look like on the field. And I was all about a number of the guys that they brought in, including Eric Armstead being one of the more, that guy could come in and do some good for this football team. He did not. Okay, so
I was also very positive about Eric Armstead. And look what happened.
All right, and so there's no way to know. All right, JJ.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, finally some quarterback stuff. All right. Sam Darnold, 3-year deal, worth close to $100 million, to the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow. Interesting.
$100 million for Sam Darnold.
Good for him.
Hell of a comeback story.
Yeah, it's so funny because he had 8 days of some really bad ball or a stretch over 8 days that included a couple games where he just did not look good. And it looked like it was going to cost him, but there's still only so many quarterbacks. Now, this also puts to bed the chatter that was out there a little earlier about, is Seattle going to make a play for Trevor Lawrence? No. If the Sam Darnold news is going down the way.
Yeah, so it's 3 years, 110. Sorry, Leon.
Okay. No, you're good. No, I was just thinking about Seattle. You know what? They pay bounce back play as well. because Geno Smith, when he went there, he got
Very
paid
true.
well.
Yeah.
And that Sam Darnold, resurrected his career and he gets paid.
But it's funny because they probably got Geno on a dime, at least on a decent deal.
Mm-hmm.
He proved himself one year, did okay.
That's true.
And then they gave him another big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so look at what all has happened as far as the quarterbacks are concerned. Geno got that big deal, was able to come back. They played okay. They maybe made it in to the playoffs right there at the end. And then this year, not so hot. The way it was going with a brand new coach and Mike McDonald wasn't exactly what they were hoping for. Geno might have walked it back a little bit, and then he gets dealt to the Raiders. Why? Because Pete Carroll. That makes sense.
We have huge Jags news.
Yeah.
Massive.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You better watch your back, Trevor, because Nick Mullins just signed a 2-year, $6.5 million deal with your Jacksonville Jaguars. New backup, Nick Mullins, who's a respectable guy around the league.
Yeah, he's a guy that, honestly, if he pops up and he's forced into the lineup, and you're hoping that does not happen this year.
You could do worse.
Yeah, that dude will just all of a sudden sling it all over the place. And he's good for a good stat game when no one's expecting him to come in. I've seen him in a Frisco uniform and a Vikings uniform light people up, which is kind of cool. I don't know whether he's...
Bro, I just typed in Nick Mullins and it says stand-up comedian podcast.
That is hilarious.
Is that the wrong guy? I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, okay.
He's the more famous Nick Mullins.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's Nick Mullen is the comedian.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I was looking.
Nick Mullins is
that
the
infamous
quarterback.
or?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Before we get to
He's hilarious.
Before we get into the Mullins, let me give you Milton Williams snaps real quick from last year, okay?
5 and 15 as a starter all-time Nick Mullins, by the way. All right.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
It's not that good.
And by the way, he's just like
probably
that is not that good.
He walks in the line of C.J. Beathard, dressed in the same locker, probably out there in San
I mean, you can't do
Francisco
much
a few
worse
years
than
back.
Mac, actually. So they're fine. 8 plays week 1.
And we're just telling everybody what Milton Williams did last year as an Eagle because he signed a huge, hefty contract
$26
with the
mil
New England
annually.
Patriots, averaging it's what is it, 4 years, over $100 million. And what did he do last year?
8 snaps, 25 snaps, 37, 30, 26, 27, 28, 22, 27, 22, 24. You starting to understand
So
this now?
averaging 24 snaps a game.
I got you.
Yeah.
How many snaps do you have all collectively?
465.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, wait. Well, I take that back. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong line. 629.
629?
Yeah, that's a decent.
Jalen Carter had twice the amount of snaps.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. First round, I get twice the rap. I mean, he's a rotational guy, basically.
How much money does Jalen Carter make right now?
He's on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
Probably 7 per, maybe less than that.
He's going to get paid.
He's going to get paid.
Oh, he's going to
sure.
get paid a lot. There's no doubt
Absolutely.
about that.
Yeah.
Speaking of others getting paid.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I mean, if you guys were worried about the Jags being able to replace Evan Ingram, fear not, because they've signed former Viking tight end Johnny Mund, M-U-N-D-T, for 2 years, $5.5 million. Stats last year for Johnny.
If
19 catches for 142 yards.
Little known fact out there in free agency land, if you have to spell his name after you say it, then there might be just a little bit of concern. But
he got $5.5 million 2 years. Maybe he's a good blocker.
He might be the replacement for Luke Farrell because he's another guy that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that this guy's. I'm joking, but he's a
Tyler
blocker,
Warren
allegedly.
is the next Evan Ingram. Okay, maybe that'll.
Elijah Arroyo.
Yeah, there you
will
go.
be the next Evan Ingram, hopefully.
There you go. All right. So there's at least a little movement going on right now. These may not be the big chips that you were looking for being pushed into the center of the table like some of the
Nick
others.
Mullen and Johnny Mund.
And both of those cats have Minnesota ties then, right?
Yeah. So Odinsky obviously coming in to Jacksonville, bringing his boys.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Knew he'd be a factor. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about Evan Ingram, and he's probably one of the top 5 players in the team.
Yeah.
We got my boy.
Well,
we got my boy coming in.
Yeah. That's your dude?
No, that's what Udinsky's saying. We got my boy coming in. Don't worry about that.
Well, the thing is that he probably does know him as maybe an inline blocker. I'm not even going to suggest that I know.
Yeah, obviously this is not a pass catching tight end.
Anything
folks.
about him. But, yeah, if you have familiarity, that's only going to help. You're counting on the guy that's going to come in and help call plays to at least have, some hand in on how the whole thing's going to be constructed. And they do need an inline blocker that can occasionally release and get loose. And Luke Farrell's stats, you want to talk about those? They weren't too pass heavy or reception heavy in his 4 years here in a Jaguars uniform. But the other part of this is that when you're just taking a look at, you want the big splash. Remember what we're trying to do here. You want to big splash it in April if you can. And just real quick on the Evan Ingram thing, because that went down, guys, when you guys were doing the show last week, and I was at PGA Tour Studios. And look, a little bit of a shock, sure, but also an expensive guy that now dealt with a fairly significant injury-riddled season that you didn't get nearly as much out of him as you were hoping, especially when you compare it to the year before. And they're just trying to renew talent on the roster and get rid of maybe some bigger contracts. In the case of Kirk, of course, and Evan Ingram.
Oh, they had to see something strange in film to where they figured that they can move on. Oh, yeah. What you got?
I just want to say this real quick. Milton Williams,
oh my God,
is now the highest paid player in Patriots franchise.
When this guy gets locked into something,
he does.
Can't get out.
All right, so he's the
history of the franchise.
So that means, and he's stepping into where, I don't know, the likes of Vince Wilfork have patrolled defensive lines before.
What was it, Seymour?
Yeah, Richard Seymour, Willie McGinnis, some of those guys.
He's making more money with all of them.
Seymour and McGinnis basically played out on the edge, but anyway, hey, it's just the different dollars that are out there right now.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
It is what it is. The cap just got bigger, too. Yeah. So, real quick, before we break, some more information from the text line. Thank you, guys, on our boy Johnny.
Yeah.
It's Munt is how you pronounce it. And he's 6'4", 233. Kevin O'Connell called him the best tight end 3 in the league.
Well, you better believe it.
But this guy, Free Agency FB, or Frosty Talks FB, says, playing 5 years in LA Rams, 3 years in Minnesota, Munt is a master of the McVay scheme. He isn't flashy by any means, but is a solid blocker. So
that's what we're looking for. That's right. We're looking for a Higbee.
Undrafted free agent in 2017.
Yeah, we're looking for a Higbee wannabe. And maybe that's what we got, okay? A guy that's ready to step in. Look, listen to the endorsements that this guy's bringing.
Best tight end 3 in the league? I mean, sign me up.
That's massive.
I'll get the jersey on its way.
I love it. All right, we're starting to build a new roster here, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what we're up to.
I got to be honest. I ain't feeling it.
Yeah? You're not feeling it?
It's early.
It's early on, but I ain't feeling it.
No splash. You haven't got wet yet. No?
Why am I not shocked?
We'll see.
We don't want to overspend, but now when they don't, we're like, what the hell are they doing? It's XL Primetime on a Mocama Beer Company Monday.
It's Jacksonville's annual March meeting place.
Fascinating people.
1010XL is your radio home for the Players' Championship with live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates.
From Heroes Lawn Care, Taco Lou, and TopDressing.com.
Your hole-in-one for men's health is Ackerman Urology. With offices in Mandarin, Middleburg, World Golf Village, and the beaches, Ackerman will get you on par for any prostate conditions and sexual vitality. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Hey, this is Darren with One Call Lawn and Pest Control. Since 2011, we've taken great pride in being Northeast Florida's premier lawn, termite, and pest control company. Our technicians receive thorough training year-round, focusing on exceptional customer service with meticulous attention to detail. One Call serves the greater Jacksonville area, including St. Augustine, Orange Park, and Fernandina. We're eager for the opportunity to earn your business and welcome you to the One Call family. Call or text us for a free quote, 413-8377.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. HairForMe.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On March 10, 1963, NBA legend San Francisco Warriors center Wilt Chamberlain scores 70 points in the Warriors' win over the Syracuse Nationals.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents. Look no further, though, than I-9 Sports, covering Duval, St. John's, and Clay to get your youngster in the game. Spring and summer registration open right now for flag football, soccer, t-ball, and basketball, plus all new girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows. I-9 Sports with fields and gyms all over 3 counties. And the best thing is I-9 Sports offers sports year-round so kids can always find a sport to play. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
I'm Tyler Oldenburg, the 2025 Tournament Chairman for the Players' Championship. Thanks to support from all of you, this championship can positively impact our Northeast Florida community all year round. The 2025 Players starts tomorrow.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, so it looks like the Jags have a new safety. This is from Maurice Jones-Drew, newsbreaker, MJD.
Love it.
Eric Murray, 3 years, $22.5 million, only $12 million guaranteed. And you probably haven't heard of him, but he's been in the league for what, 6 or 9 years?
Quite a while.
Yeah, played with Kansas City and Houston most recently for about 4 or 5 seasons. He's a safety. Probably going to be a starter here. 9 seasons, 3 interceptions.
Is it me or like the Jags and the Texans just changing players, swapping?
Like Christian Kirk.
You take him. I don't want him. You take him.
Well, I guess I'd rather have this contract than Kirk's contract, maybe, if you want to look at it like that. Especially if you look back last year at Houston, and we'll probably do this a little bit later on once we see all the free agent classes come together. They spent a lot of money last year. Now, definitely a couple of those guys came through, and it was decent money spent. Joe Mixon being one of the bigger ones that they were able to get. But Danico Autry and Danielle Hunter, we'll just have to take a look and just see, because they were the ones that everyone was saying, why in the heck ain't Jacksonville doing stuff like they're doing? And they ended up winning the division. We're not taking that away from them. And ended up pulling off a pretty impressive win against the L.A. Chargers in the opening round. But, yeah, we'll see.
And another
D-Rock just tweeted out that the Jaguars have signed Rams, another tight end 3 apparently. Rams tight end Hunter Long.
Okay.
Do 2 tight end 3s make a tight end 2 even?
It's at least a 1.5.
That'll be a 2 at that point.
At least a 1.5.
I mean, you're hoping that Brenton Strange is your 1, right?
Yeah, because what you did towards the end of the year is at the very least see him flash that potential, Leon, like you had hoped to see. When you watched him in a Penn State uniform, he looked pretty good. We all know year one, he didn't do squat. Year two, able to at least come in there, and especially with the Ingram injury, prove that he could be one of those.
Yeah, maybe they saw something in film where they said to themselves, everything was expendable. We can work with this cat, But they're going after tight ends. How many tight ends have we gone after?
So now they have 3 on the roster, I believe.
So we got
and make room for Tyler Warren. Let's just bring another Penn State Nittany Lion in here. If
Why
we
not?
Can.
Hell,
Right,
he's
JJ?
sick.
Hit it.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This one, the Jets are signing Justin Fields.
Okay.
Oh.
2-year deal worth $40 million, so 30 guaranteed. So I mean, that's the starter. I mean, he's going to be the starter for the Jets, barring injury next year.
It's so
Justin
wild.
Fields.
Yeah,
and quickly, Darius Slay. We didn't get to it. Signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Another huge move.
Do you have a number on that?
Not yet.
All right.
Yeah. It's got to be a little up there, I would think. And Slay comes in obviously with great credentials, what he's been able to do, but he's also one of those guys they ask at the end of the year, are you coming back? Because they didn't know, is this the end of a run? He was in Detroit for a long time with the Philadelphia Eagles, very productive player. Pittsburgh swinging for the fences a little bit more, because if they say goodbye to Justin Fields, he's now a New York Jet.
Right.
Maybe they swap quarterbacks.
Yeah, they
the
very
Jets.
well could. Because the reporting's out there, at the very least, that Mike Tomlin and the Steelers are enamored with the idea of maybe bringing Aaron in and letting him fix what they hoped Russell and Justin.
Which you think, even though he's down and old, and Rodgers looked good enough last year, I feel like that's an upgrade.
Yeah,
over both of them.
Towards the end of the year, it's crazy because he was further removed from that Achilles injury, and he actually started to look a little more mobile. Obviously, he's still a very good quarterback that, when protected, can make a lot of good throws.
Yeah.
At the same time, Russell Wilson was starting to fade a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that ended up catching up.
Well, I mean, he's going to have some weapons if he goes to Pittsburgh. I mean, he's going to have DK, you got GP, and you got Furmouth in the middle.
Again, the Jets and the Steelers trading quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, but I have to ask this immediate question. How in the heck is George Pickens going to handle that DK deal rolling into town, rolling into his locker room?
Get over it.
Same
Are
way
you saying
Jalen
he's
Carter's
not
dealing with the Milton Williams deal?
Are you saying he's not the most mature professional athlete, Joe?
I was just suggesting that it might not go over well.
He might be inspired.
Yeah, he might.
He might be.
Because look, he's
still on the rookie deal, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, he might be inspired because he sees that kind of cash.
Yeah.
He's either going to want the Steelers to match it, or he knows in free market he'll get it.
Yeah, he is good enough to be that type of guy. Yeah. But remember, not last season, but the year before, he was accused of not running routes and all that kind of stuff. And then he seemed to have turned a corner and played well. And then he was a little frustrated with the way the quarterbacking was going all along. But, yeah, I'm just curious just to kind of see how that goes because I guess maybe to kind of wrap it up in a bow, Pittsburgh's not used to spending this type of money to bring high-priced and high-prized stars into their locker room. They're just not.
Well, they're also not used to just
losing
that and like quarterbacks, like just grabbing free agent quarterbacks. They usually draft and develop.
Well, yeah, they had Roethlisberger for a decade and a half.
And prior to that, same thing. They draft and they develop guys.
Yeah, he tweeted out that he was thinking about a comeback. Now the DK and Pickens and all of them are in that locker room, and I don't blame him, but I do think it does scream a little desperation when you see these types of deals go down in a city that routinely has passed on free agency. The great line from Ed Bouchette, you call him and say, hey, he's a longtime, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette?
Post-Gazette writer. I don't think he works them anywhere, but he's a longtime Steelers beat writer, yeah.
But he's like, you text him, say, hey, are you available to talk free? He goes, no, I take this week of vacation because they don't do anything in free agency. I don't need to be here. And that's how they were for the longest time. You know that, Leon.
I know from experience, yes.
They said goodbye more than they said hello to people. And so it's definitely interesting that the New England Patriots, a few teams that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be putting a bunch of money in people's back pockets are looking at that reality and doing that.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to look at the sum total of what has happened, at least in the short amount of time that legal tampering has taken place. And who's who right now? Who's making the moves that you like so far?
You know what? This is why the NFL is so good.
Mm-hmm.
This is why they dominate the media cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, college football should consider this.
Yeah.
Instead of having all these flipping transfer portals and this windows, and just have like 5 days. You have 5 days to leave and find a team. 5 days. Do you realize how much coverage that would get?
Well, it's already getting massive coverage.
Not really.
You don't think so?
Not really.
Okay, so you're saying if you capsulize it into
if you capsulize it into like a 5 day window, like the NFL does with this, it would be gigantic. There'd be specials on ESPN about it.
I don't know about you might be right, but this is where I always draw the line. There are only so many teams in the NFL and only so many free agents, and there's like you can easily pump out a list, the top 50 free agents, the top 10 at each position.
Sure.
And you can do that. You can't do that in college. There's just too many flipping people.
Right, but you're still going to get major movings in college football.
That
would be
but
worthy of that.
I know that like
you're talking about like a transfer portal.
College, like a 5 day window where you have to go in those 5 days.
That'd be sick.
Sick.
It'd be great, but like college is your world. It'd be great just from a fan's point of view and follow along point of view. Whereas right now you can't keep up with it.
I mean, will money be involved? Because that's an intriguing. The whole thing with free agency is that
That's
money
true
is
too.
involved.
That's a great point, actually.
You know,
Yeah,
so
and that's what
money makes it a little more intriguing.
it makes it more intriguing.
And even though we're not saying that the reason a player enters the portal is because of money, but if they did do that, then it might resonate.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that, but I still think it would be very well received.
It might.
They would have shows on ESPN and Fox about it. Guarantee they would.
Maybe the only reason I clap back is I simply say you remind us of the number of players that are in the portal right now, roughly. It's over 1,000.
It was like 1,500.
Yeah. It's just a nutty number, and there are guys just sitting out there going, nobody's calling. You know,
there are some mega moves. I mean, probably honestly, there's at least 100 moves where you're like, all right, that's going to be a problem for this team or that team.
Right.
But that's going to be great for this team or that team.
Okay, can you like maybe just think real quickly off the cuff, like an example of what would be the top 5 biggest moves this offseason if you were to combine? Again, we have
Carson
December.
Beck.
Yeah, Carson Beck would
John
be the
Mateer,
headline. Who?
John
the
Mateer.
quarterbacks.
Yeah, just the quarterbacks.
All the quarterbacks.
That's it.
But it's more than that. It's receivers. It's running backs. I mean, when
But I'm
Trevor
saying-
Etienne went to Georgia, that was huge news.
How did it go?
No, I know that. I'm
Right.
not saying that's no different than free agency, though.
No, I get it. I'm just curious.
That
Like
was your,
other
that
than
was your Gator bias coming in right there, by the way.
no. How did it go?
Look at Leon Lau. He agrees with me, man.
I think 5
I actually
days
felt
would
bad
be.
for Trevor. He just kept getting hurt.
I think 5 days would be too long.
Yeah.
Because most of this free agency stuff is going to get done in the next couple days. Like, it's pretty
Not in
short.
the next couple hours.
Yeah. So maybe if you give that's why signing day is so badass.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's a day, and everything is breaking. Like you have the guys who are committed way before the day, but nothing's really
But
official.
those are also high school dudes. Like, now you're talking about guys that have played in college.
No,
that you
I'm just
know
saying it's
are
such a
good
short
players.
amount of time. That also helps the
Yeah,
coolness.
yeah, I
of
agree.
it. So 5 days for me would be a little too long.
Like I'm thinking back to last year, and I like the look
Maybe
and
a
sound
3-day
of it.
window.
You're right.
If you consolidated it, sure, it would help fans follow along, because that honestly is the part that sucks the most. Like, wait a minute, we had this guy, now we don't have this guy.
And it's like, do we want to offer this quarterback because we're waiting for this guy?
Well, and the other part of it is like, it's bad enough you go like, well, we had this guy, but then you find out where he's going, and he's going to your rival, and it just fires you up and ticks you off. But I don't really know how you can keep track of it. Like last year, Caleb Downs was a major move, okay? And he helped Ohio State win a natty. What would he have done if he stayed in Tuscaloosa? I don't know.
So did Will Howard.
But Will Howard and
John Junkins.
Yeah, you can definitely name a handful of those, particularly the guys that did go to Ohio State and kind of collectively helped lead them to a natty. How much money was spent in the NIL, Matt?
In the NIL was $20 million.
Yeah, 20-some million.
Yeah.
It's like, I know that if you did do it in a small amount of time, it might make a little more sense to the fan, because the fan ain't following along right now. At least it doesn't feel like they're following along.
It's like the Wild West.
It is.
It's crazy. And then, like, as a Hurricane, last year you thought it was over, and then randomly like, oh, you're getting Cam Ward.
Yeah.
And then now it was sort of the same with Carson Beck. It's like, oh, I thought we were just completely screwed. And then days later, you're like, oh, we're getting Carson Beck.
Yeah, he went from the NFL.
Yeah. So there is really no timeline, it seems like, at this point.
Yeah. And we still have another portal, people, coming up.
Can't wait.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it portal? What week of May is it?
It's April. It's
April
15th through the 30th.
Yeah.
That's like right after camp.
It's right after spring practice. Wow. Yeah. Those who aren't happy after spring practice.
Make sense of it. And this is why we've had the evolution of we're getting rid of our spring game because we don't want people checking in on our game and finding the players that are going to be entering.
Yeah, well, those are all free games. So the coaches and whatever you want to call these guys that are on the staffs now, analysts,
there's a bunch
recruiting analysts, they'll go to games and they'll literally watch them.
Right. And that's what that was the whole reason Matt Rule, the coach.
He's not the only one
in Nebraska, but I'm saying he was the first one.
Yeah.
That basically said, we're not doing this.
Texas isn't having a spring game now.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. In fact, they're the only team in the SEC that's not having a spring game.
Wonder what he thinks he could lose if he did have a spring game.
I don't know, but if I was a air quotes analyst on another SEC school, I'd be going over that roster, man.
Right, exactly. I'd be looking. Just because you're not going to have a game doesn't mean you're not going to be able, or you're going to be able to hide players, right?
So they're not going to televise them anymore. Like Alabama.
No, they'll be televised. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean ESPN's not going to stop televising.
Oh, they want that program.
Oh, okay, all right.
They're desperate for content.
All right, I don't know if we've broken a record for that's in 1 hour, but we're close. We're approaching it.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Which is fine because we love Florida Home AC.
That's right.
All right, so let me give you a couple signings that have happened in the last 5 minutes or so before we break. Former Viking safety Cam Bynum has agreed with the Colts on a 4-year, $60 million contract. And then a big one, the Bears are signing former Colts defensive end Dayo Odenigbo, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, to a 3-year, $48 million contract. They're all saying this is one of the best young interior linemen, I guess. So
that's 16 per.
And the Bears are making a ton of moves, man.
Yeah, and so the fact that they got a center, what did they do the other day? They went out and got their Joe Tooney and brought him in, and the center now.
Tackle. And the center now.
Yeah, Dahlman, which, by the way, one of our texters did say, just talking about that guy that was signed, that there's some other ones that are out there. The texter, you guys can hit us 641-1010 on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Not getting Dahlman hurts, but Mekhi Becton is still available. Josh Myers, stopgap possibility at center. Our DC should be very familiar with him from Green Bay. Myers, you take a look at him. Let's see here. 6'5", 310 pounds. Leon, overall grade in 24. This is from our texter, 55, which is, it's...
Myers from where?
Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Pass block grade, 63. Run block grade 52. Nothing outstanding. He was just mentioning him as a stopgap.
See, those are the type of guys. Those are the type of guys I worry about. Is that if we don't hit on the guys that we essentially want, the top notch guys, then unfortunately you might find yourself in a position where you just settle for a guy to bring him in here.
True. And you don't want to hit the panic button if you don't get the guy you want, and just say, hey, we got to get somebody, and we got to showcase it. Just like one of our texters said, MJD just said we signed Eric Murray. Who is that? LOL. All right, we'll keep it going into the 3 o'clock hour. You guys let us know what you're thinking. The guys you like, guys you don't. Big question marks around Nick Mullen. So many of them right now are being met with lukewarm enthusiasm on a Mocama Beer Company Monday.
You know Dan Hicken.
My ignorance amuses me.
And you know Jeff Prosser.
Hey, at least I'm housebroken.
The Drill.
So why are you guys here anyway?
Because flakes taste better in the morning.
You eat what you like, I'll eat what I like.
On 1010XL.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
now, you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Tired of drafty, noisy vinyl windows? It's time to say goodbye to vinyl. And hello to lasting comfort with Renewal by Andersen Windows and Doors. Our exclusive Fiberx windows are 2 times stronger than vinyl, more energy efficient, and custom built to fit your home perfectly. No more warping, no more cracking, just beautiful, durable windows that stand the test of time. Right now, get special financing or save big with limited time discounts. Call Renewal by Andersen today and say bye-bye vinyl. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com. Don't wait. Upgrade today. License number CGC 1527613.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Grinding out good grades can be just as challenging as winning games. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Poker players, the Run Good Poker Series is coming to Best Bet Jacksonville from April 24th to May 4th with 10 poker events, including the $1,200 main event, hosting a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool, and event number 1, a $400 no-limit hold'em tourney with a $200,000 guarantee. The action is non-stop. One in, win your seat through satellite starting April 4th at Best Bet Jacksonville. For all the Run Good Series structures and details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Real estate isn't just a job, it's a commitment. With Paige Covington, you get a dedicated partner who's available day or night because buying or selling a home doesn't follow a schedule. Your needs come first. Whether it's finding the perfect home or selling for top dollar, Paige Covington goes the extra mile every time. Meet Paige Covington with England Volkers at String Sports Brewery on Penman Road in Jacks Beach, Friday, March 21st from 4 to 6 for Madness with the Frangie Show. PaigeCovington.evrealestate.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold and silver and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at almost $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
It's E.T. here, and did you know that slow speed accidents can still cause serious injuries? Ignoring minor pain today can mean big problems tomorrow. Don't wait. Call my guys at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center, the auto accident experts.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
I'm Max Fink, here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Jacksonville University's men's lacrosse team is absolutely rolling right now, coming off a big neutral site win up in Savannah over High Point 11-9. The Dolphins got to work early as freshman attackman Dalen John Hill tucked the first two scores of the game, followed by a face-off goal by Fogo Drew Ripien. High Point began to come back, but the Dolphins answered, going into half up 7-6. With more offensive action from the Dolphins in the second half and the defense making big stops as time expired, Jacksonville came out on top, marking their fifth straight win. The Dolphins had two 4-goal scorers, attackman Dalen John Hill and Nicky Brown. Freshman long stick midi Lucas Frazier recorded a team-high 6 ground balls as well. The Dolphins have a tough one up in Chapel Hill next weekend, taking on 6th-ranked North Carolina on Sunday at 2. It's 73 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
Our whisperer on the road today normally drops in studio, but out and about. This is all sorts of things going on in his quarterback world. Spring practice, of course. What's going on right now with free agency? Let's welcome in Denny Thompson. Denny, how you doing, bud?
I'm great. How are you guys doing? I'm actually in town.
Yeah.
But busy week at Cortex this week. It's spring break and college football, so we got a bunch of dudes down. And I'm starting to wonder if they're coming down to train with us or go to the players.
Yeah,
but
you might have just figured it out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny because I want you to go back and at least tell us, guys that you do have coming in. But I was thinking about texting you earlier. Austin Reed came and visited with us at the players last year. We had a great conversation with him, and he was on the grounds and whatnot, and he was able to make it through this year with the Chicago. Is that one of the guys that's come back this week?
Yeah, we have a couple of our pro guys, and then we've got really guys from all over the country in the college game. I know Connor Weigman's in, who Matt likes, and he's a big golf guy, so he'll be out there a couple of days. But yeah, it's always fun, man. We get them in this week and get to go out a couple nights and have a good time, and then head out to the players and have a good time over the weekend. So it's always a fun week here.
So speaking of Connor, did you go see him in Houston? Have you been out there yet?
No, I haven't. This is the first time I've seen him since he's been there. I haven't been out to see him just yet.
So where are you on your trip, on your spring trip? You had to go to see 4 or 5 different guys. Where are you right now, and how has it gone so far?
I'm done. I went to Starkville, went to Texas A&M. Don't even know where all I've been. Miami a couple of times. Shot up to Athens. So yeah, no, it's been good, man. It's a good time of year. It's a busy time of year, but it's a lot of fun.
So Denny, with your preparation for the kids going into spring ball and your preparations for kids going to the combine, is it kind of the same element, or does this one factor in the way you train another?
No, I think, from the combine perspective, and you've been through this, Leon, you know this, man, that thing is, I don't know, you're really just kind of training for a day in a lot of ways. There's not another time you're going to legitimately line up and run a 40-yard dash, right? So the crew that I'm associated with at Cortex does an amazing job on that side of things. And that's really the combine training. We've got Peyton Thorne in from Auburn, and he's part of our draft prep group as well, Sammy Edwards from St. Augustine. And so it's a much different thing. Once you get these guys in here for spring football, and then later the NFL guys as they're heading into OTAs, mini camps, training camp, whatever it is, you have to start working actual football in. You have to start working route concepts and movements and things like that in. Whereas the combine is really just you're kind of showing who you are as an athlete and And then, depending on what your role is, maybe who you are as a thrower, but very few people are throwing nowadays, and very few people are running. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what develops with the combine from the quarterback position long term. Maybe it stays the same, my personal opinion. And I don't know about other positions, but maybe they feel the same way. There's a lot of changes that need to be made in the evaluation process, combine-wise, pro day-wise, just the whole process. It's a different game than what it was when we first started this stuff.
That is true. That's for sure. We're talking with Denny Thompson, our quarterback whisperer, as you got all sorts of things going on this week with guys coming in to visit you. We mainly needed to call you to give a full breakdown on the Nick Mullen tape, the eval, now that he's been signed as the backup to Trevor Lawrence here in good old Duval. Your thoughts?
I've never worked with Nick. I've heard amazing things about him. Obviously, I've seen him play, several times. He's twitchy. He's your typical. I don't want to give a bunch of coach speak, but it really is. He's your typical reliable. Like, this is a guy we like to have here in the quarterback room. Good room guy, good football IQ guy. If he's got to go in, can make some plays, can win a game for you here or there. But nobody's signing Nick Mullins as a long-term solution or even a short-term solution, right? And so he's one of those guys that's just found kind of his spot in the NFL, and there is nothing wrong with that. And he's obviously a big-time contributor to quarterback rooms, or he still wouldn't be in the league.
So
when you start to look at these backup and third-string quarterbacks, Joe, sorry to interrupt you, but they all have to do something really, really well to stick around, right?
Yeah.
And you start to see these guys that have been in the league for 7, 8, 9 years in that role, they're considered a valuable piece inside of that building. And I think that's the way that Nick Mullins is looked at, throughout the NFL.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to compare. It may be unfair because Mac Jones was looking for another opportunity. But anyway, he was the backup. And then you had C.J. Beathard and now Nick. So hierarchy, those three guys.
Yeah, I think Mac is a completely different thing.
Right.
I think Mac is a guy that just didn't catch the right breaks on his first couple of years in the league, and then got a chance to kind of show what he can do here. And I think Mac will get a chance to play football again, not just be behind somebody. CJ and Nick are probably similar type of guys. CJ Beathard has got a heck of an arm. I mean, he can make every throw on the field. But I think they're very similar in the way that they're good X's and O's guys. They're great support guys. That whole quarterback room last year between Mac and Trevor and CJ, even, just good dudes. I know all three of them really, really well. They're guys that we even want to have them in the facility because they bring the energy up. I don't know that about Nick, but I would assume he's the same way.
So I guess the question would be, and it's the obvious question, especially considering Trevor's missed time in the last 2 seasons, each of the last 2 seasons, can he win games in the league if pressed into action? Nick Mullins.
He has. I mean, he has. So I think the answer is yes, he can. I don't think obviously that's not the ideal situation. I think a lot of times that has so much to do with what's around you. When you get down to your backup quarterback, and then, 2 years ago, backup quarterbacks had as many starts as starting quarterbacks. I think that at that point, now that really becomes, do you have a run game? Do you have an offensive line? Do you have a defense? Not that it's not already that. We've talked about that. But you have to be a complete team with minimal mistakes to win football games with the backup in the NFL. I mean, that's just the definition of a backup. They're not as good as the starter, right? So I think that's the same case in the Nick Mullins situation. If you get to your backup for an extended period of time, I don't know what records look like, but my guess is nobody's had a ton of success in that outside of maybe, the obvious ones like Tom Brady when Bledsoe went down. But as a general rule, if you need to go to your backup for half the year, more than half of your year, you're probably not in a great situation.
You know what, Denny, I've always been under the impression the quarterbacks during free agency tell the administration or in some capacity that we need some help up front. Your man Caleb Williams is getting it done with the guys up front that just signed it. And we've got DBs and safeties. Trevor's memo has not been served thus far in Jacksonville. We're still waiting on guard. Are we not, Matt Hayes?
Yeah, I'm just.
Listen,
I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall, man. But whatever.
I'm just ahead of the curve. That's all I'm saying. Right? Your man, Caleb Williams. I mean, he's got center guard right now to help him for what he struggled with last year as far as protections go.
Yeah, I mean, it's the easiest way to help a young quarterback. It's the easiest. Forget young quarterback. It's the easiest way to help any quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can take the aspect of them not knowing if they have time to throw any throw out of their game, then it allows them to get comfortable, allows you as a play caller to establish an offense and establish a role. Yeah, I mean, I think it has to be done. I would assume that that's being lobbied for at every angle in Jacksonville, and it just hasn't happened yet. If it doesn't happen, then, yeah, I mean, I don't think anything's going to change personally.
All right, brother man, we will turn you loose. You get back to work. Let us know when you're on the grounds at the Players and maybe drop by, and don't be afraid to bring 6-7 quarterbacks with you, okay?
All right, I got you guys.
All right, man. Thank you. Connor Wegman in particular. That's who we'd like to talk to. Bring him.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You guys want help for Trevor?
Yes.
Well, I got help. Wide receiver Diami Brown.
Nice.
1 year, $10 million deal. Diami played for the Commanders.
Yep.
And he had 308 yards and 1 touchdown last year.
I'll just tell you this much. The dude was starting. I love the looks on these faces. The dude was starting to crest up. In
I'm sure he was.
Stop it. Just stop it right now.
Sure
Stop
he
it.
was.
Hang on.
I feel like it's a Seinfeld episode where he's like talking about the relationship. Where are you in the relationship where you got to get out? Like we're all now with the heads at the top of the. Hands
I know.
At the top of the head. You got to get out.
And now you're saying just stop it. Just stop it. Okay, let me just tell you what happened.
Stop glorifying like
Imagine
a fifth
if
receiver,
Balky
man.
made
Stop.
these moves.
Yeah, well, believe me, people on the text line are just crushing these moves, saying if Balky had, we'd be roasting him right now. But if you were paying attention, Diami Brown over the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season really started to crest up and was making plays opposite Terry McLaurin. He's in the game against Philly and has a chance to make a couple of big plays, tried to turn it upfield. They ripped the ball out of his hands, and the game was never the same after that.
That's all I remember about Diami Brown, okay?
The game was never the same. But what I saw, I liked from this one, okay? I don't know who any of these other guys are, but what I saw, I liked from this one. JJ, you made me feel better, okay?
Well, we have a sort of Jags news as well.
Okay.
This one's shocking to me.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Farrell got 3 years with the Niners, and his contract is worth up to $20 million. 11 guaranteed.
All right, here's the
question.
question.
Luke Farrell got $11 million.
Whoa, guaranteed. Is Trent Baalke back in the building in San Francisco? That's the only thing I'm asking right now, because that easily could be the reason why that happened. That is, whoa.
Wow.
All right, so, and I see, this is what I appreciate from our diehard primetimers, okay? This is analysis that you don't get anywhere else other than the head hanging that I just saw from Matt Hayes a minute ago. Diami Brown.
It's not head hanging.
I was head hanging.
No.
That's what it was.
It's
YouTube can verify that. Our YouTube audience right now.
Just resigned to the reality of it's just what it is, man.
It was hands over the head.
I do love Camps. By the way, I love Camps. I love Camps to death. He is our boy.
Yeah.
Every signing, Camps has texted us and said, "This is a good player." Yeah. He now says, "I love Diami."
Yeah.
Good young player.
See? Thank you, Coach.
Which, by the way, speaking of Coach.
Yes.
Huge news.
Dude,
that
great.
deserves a that, by the way, coming up.
I'll give him one right here.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So he got us an interview with Yankees manager Aaron Boone on Friday, which great interview. If you want to go back and listen to it, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he's getting us Mike Zimmer tomorrow.
Nice.
2:45. So
talk about the man, the legend, JJ.
Well, no, you go ahead. You can... He's like, I can't remember his name.
No,
all right,
forget
forget
I
about
refuse
that.
to say it, actually.
Yeah.
Not that I can't remember his name.
Anyway.
Johnny Munn.
Yeah. No, not him.
No, the cornerback.
Gosh, man.
Johnny Munn's the guy he's talking about, too, though. He's talking about both of them.
Well, I guess he was up in Minnesota.
Yeah, that
a few
is
years
true.
back, so I guess.
But he was the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys last year.
Nice recovery.
He was not retained after Schottenheimer got the job. But yeah, it'll be a great guest to talk about the Jags' new cornerback.
Nice recovery.
Jordan Lewis.
Yeah. All right. I do love.
Is it Lewis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Jordan Lewis.
I'm just. I wanted Matt just to sit there for one hot second with that one. All right. One of our texters, Diami Brown, signed the same contract as Tutu Atwell. Brown, yards per game in the playoffs, 76.3. Tutu, yards per game in the playoffs, 9. Thank you very much. I am now stoked as ever.
Riding home with the Jaguars play-by-play voice and the Jags beat reporter.
I don't think I want to go. What do you mean you don't want to go?
Frank Frangie and Hayes Carline are on the Frangie Show.
Prepped, pumped, ready to rock?
Afternoons on 1010XL.
And while you're at it, fill it up with gas, okay?
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be a 7-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit nimnickchevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right. Where do you go? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Florida homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Universal Roof and Contract protects your home and your wallet. Invest in a stronger roof and save big. Spend $6,000 and get up to $600 off. $15,000 up to $2,000 off. $20,000 up to $3,000 off. This deal ends March 31st. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hicken here for Bound 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bound 9. Visit Bound 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bound 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Who's new? Get to know who and why they're a good fit on the First Coast.
This man right here does whatever it takes.
Free agency profiles are covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. Roll through the offseason with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town, setting the standard in our hometown. Quality service, the best around. Coolidge is the cat that cares about your heating and about your air. Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town.
My name is Joanne. I'm 75 years old, and I have lost 35 pounds on Awaken 180 weight loss. I was pre-diabetic. I was ready to go on cholesterol medication. My blood pressure was up even on medication. Now I have no need for cholesterol medication. My blood sugar is fine, and I actually am cutting down on my blood pressure medicine. I have knee replacements and hip replacements, and I had difficulty walking, and now I can walk without any problem. I feel lighter. I feel more energetic. It is a lifestyle that will help you to lose weight without medication.
Thanks, Joanne. Matt Hayes here. Stories like Joanne's are the reason I continue to share the Awaken 180 message. The results speak for themselves, and I'm confident you'll have the same success if you let them show you how. Do what Joanne did, what I did, and what over 24,000 others have done, and choose the solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
With so many competitive pest services in town, you might wonder why Kingfish Pest Control's business is booming while similar companies seem to be struggling. It all comes down to service, affordability, and effectiveness. Kingfish Pest Control is a local family-owned company who delivers on their promises to effectively control pests like ants, spiders, roaches, termites, mosquitoes, and more. Your home is their priority, so call today and discover why your neighbors and your buddy Hayes Carlion trust Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, so the Jags' new tight end, Hunter Long. 2 years, $5 million with a $6 million max value. He's coming from the Rams.
$6 million max. That's right. That's frugal spending, ladies and gentlemen. That's not wasting your money on bad decisions.
Which one of those TE3s is going to be TE2? That's what I want to know.
I'm telling you, we're getting closer to a 1.5 with 2 3s. But Long and
Munt.
Okay,
Johnny Munt.
I was going to go with Bunt as a bunt cake, but Munt. Between those two, we're going to have some serious personnel situations where they can go and be bruising blockers.
And
right?
we do actually have big news in the NFL also during the break. The Cardinals, they've signed former Eagle edge Josh Sweat to a 4-year deal worth $76.5 million, only $41 guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
But big splash for the Arizona Cardinals.
And so that's another dude that goes back to, he reunites with his old defensive coordinator. And so he leaves Philly, where Jonathan Gannon was the defensive coordinator, and then is down there, and that'll certainly help them. And he's one of the guys that played his tail off along with Milton Williams in the Super Bowl. He wanted that MVP.
Yeah, that's what he thought. 2.5 sacks. Hey, listen, once you get the ring, you want the bag. Now you got the ring. Now you can go out there and make as much money as you possibly can.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
I feel like the Eagles have lost so many guys today.
Well, you figure Williams, Sweat along the line, Darius Slay in the back end. They did re-sign Zach Bond over the weekend, which was or towards the end of last week, which was a huge chunk of money. Who else have they lost? They re-signed Saquon.
Yeah. Listen, as long as they got Jalen Carter,
and they're going to lose. They're going to lose Mekhi Becton too, probably. I guess we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But if they could keep him, that'd be.
Did we say Milton Williams already?
Yeah. So he's gone. So 2 or 3 key pieces when you're talking about that side.
But
of the
like
ball.
Leon said, they they draft so freaking good.
Yeah,
they do.
Howie can afford to wave goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it boils down to.
Actually, what it boils down to is they draft really well.
Well, that's what
that's what you just said.
Yeah,
that's really
so,
at the end of the day, when you draft well.
Yeah, that's why I said
you win and you can afford to say
wave
bye-bye.
goodbye. You can just wave goodbye. Just say, see you later, buddy. We got another one of you that's already in the pipeline.
But when you pick Chris Henderson 9 overall, you got a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was
Caleb Chase on at 20. What was he? 2020.
He was
22.
He was one of the top 20 picks in that draft that year. Yeah. Listen, we don't need a history lesson on how much this front office has sucked. With one of our texters, this feels like Gus Bradley, Dave Caldwell 2.0. And look, I get it. Other ones are saying big 3. I'm second guessing them. All kinds of stuff. We did nothing but get worse. I get it all. But as I've maintained, and I firmly believe this, feel better in April than you do in February. Feel better. Let's make that the 10-10 take, JJ, because that's really what this team needs to turn a major corner there.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
So in February or April, you can enjoy a great meal at Sonny's. Any other month of the year, in fact, you can enjoy it. They got that all-you-can-eat rib special, less than $20. Take advantage of it right now at any one of your area Sonny's. But I know this sounds so simple, but it means so much. Be better in April than you are in February. In fact, if you are good in April, you don't need February nearly as much. Get the job done with a youth movement, guys that are going to come in and become pillars. I think you guys might have used that word before, right? Last week?
Yeah.
When we were talking about it, pillars of this franchise. Start making men out of draft picks that other teams fear. And so while this isn't the best feeling you were looking for, and we can go back and look at the free agents that were signed or agreed to sign this time last year, you probably felt okay about some of them, but be better in April than you are in February, and you will solve a lot of problems. That's the 10-10 take.
You should, your buddy that does the logos and stuff, he should come up with a shirt that says April's everything.
April's everything. I do like that. Now, Big Al would be thinking about something like that. The Barbecuegan would be thinking about something like that. April is everything. If you survive the scrutiny from the fan base by delivering starters, guys that you can plug in and immediately see the results of what you've done in April, they will not care about February. Even though I was jacked up coming into today, just like everybody else, just to find out who was going where. There's a lot of money being thrown around right now. Here's another example.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jags got a lineman.
Woo! Oh, no.
Former Raven O-line Patrick McCarry. Newest Jacksonville Jaguar.
Who?
Right.
Look at Joe.
They got a lineman. And then you hear him, you're like,
3-year deal. He started every game for the Ravens last season.
That's right.
He's a guard.
That's exactly.
So that's good.
You know what?
That's right. You've never even heard of him. You say,
guards are supposed to be invisible, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Guards on sexy picks. I had to watch some film on them. Guards on sexy picks.
Listen, that is your homework assignment.
Yes, I'm going to figure this out.
All right, so
I like that he played for the Ravens.
Yeah.
I mean, that can't be terrible.
No, and it was honestly one of the more solid offensive lines, even though I don't know who the guy is.
This was his first full season as a starter.
Beautiful. Age range? 27?
Let's see.
That's my guess.
Patrick Mann.
100% total.
He's a
guess.
one-year starter?
Yeah.
Concerning.
All right.
E-K-A-R-I.
He's 20.
Looking for him right now.
He will
He's
be
27. He will be 28
by the time the
That
season
was right.
starts.
27.
Okay.
He was not drafted.
It will be his 7th season in the league.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Patrick McCarry, M-E-K-A-R-I.
And
he was undrafted?
Yes.
I mean, so that means he had to put some work in to be
That's a success story right there.
It is. I'm going to give him that now.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him that, man.
Look at you guys finding the positives, huh?
We're trying to.
Got to.
We got to.
You
man.
absolutely have
I'm
to.
clinging, bro. I'm clinging.
I got nothing else right now.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
I mean, he's basically Van Lannon.
Yeah. You don't know that. Okay, Van Lannon did not start every game. Okay.
Well, so D-Rock says he started every game, but Wikipedia is saying he only started 6 of 16 games this season. So I don't know.
D-Rock versus Wikipedia.
Yeah,
That will
D-Rock's
be our-
probably okay. So
I would go with D-Rock.
Pro Football Reference, says he started 17 games this season. So
Right.
Wikipedia
So there you go.
sucks.
Yeah, don't trust those.
Sorry,
savages.
but before that,
See, that's journalism.
Yeah,
you go with the journalist, okay?
he started in 7 games the year before that, 4 games the year before that. So
I take it he's a right guard.
I can't imagine the Ravens would be letting their right guard go. There's no way he can be a right guard. He's got to be the left guard, right?
Well, let's look him up
Hang
again.
on,
That way,
Let me look.
Yeah.
He's
Because
left
you
guard.
Yeah,
He's
you
left
just had
guard?
left guard. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, what does that mean? That means Ezra's 3-year deal that Matt has mentioned about 3 years.
Maybe they're moving Patrick. Maybe they're moving Patrick to the right side. Who
You never
knows?
know.
Or maybe they're moving Evan to the.
Don't do
Ezra
that.
to the right
Yeah,
side.
don't
excuse
do
me.
that. But now you're looking at the possibility of starting to address the most important concern for this football team, protecting Trevor. It's what everybody wants to see. If we're going to find out whether I-275 is all of that, then you're going to have those guys up front getting the job done for you so you can correctly judge whether or not Trevor's going to be your future.
Well, listen, it doesn't hurt that he's on the he was on the Ravens team that was the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
he had a PFF grade of 60 last year.
60.
Okay.
We're trying to find some positive.
What's the high number, JJ, in that PFF grading for guards?
Oh, I don't know. I just know his. So he earned a 60 overall Pro Football Focus grade over 17 starts. He only allowed 1 sack last year.
There's a number.
There we go.
That's a good
now
number.
I'm going to grab onto that thing like grim death. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
53 starts in 88 games, says one of our texters. And so what you're looking at right now is if he can limit the exposure to hits for Trevor, then my gosh, how much have you ramped up and improved the front? Now, they can't be done, obviously. They need to be looking at guys, maybe one more guy that's either the center or the other guard with experience, and then get in the draft and do some other, make some other key decisions in the interior offensive line.
By the way, if y'all aren't watching on YouTube, you have to. Because that moment where JJ said the Jags have an offensive lineman and Joe screamed, and then JJ said that it was Patrick McCarry, the look on Joe's face was absolutely priceless.
I have no idea who you are, but I will familiarize myself with you.
And like we said,
your bio.
If you don't know a guard, doesn't mean he's not good.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are literally the faceless position of the NFL.
Yeah, they're not the sexy pick, but I tell you what, if you can turn your back for the next 10 years, 5 years, and not worry, then he becomes very sexy.
Exactly. I'll take a half a decade guy right now, especially with the years of service he's already had, to come in here. And we mentioned some of the other guys. We were going down memory lane the other day, and Vince Manawai, may rest in peace. We were talking about some of the guys that had quality starts here. Chris Naoli, another one that you can't help but say good things about. And then also he came from another organization and stepped in immediately. And so those are the types of guys that you're thinking of that can come in here. And heck, you put him on one side, you may not want to spend the money that Mekhi Becton may be thinking about making. When it comes to shoring up,
because you wanted to overspend to get him up out of there. Because I think he has a personal attachment to that organization because they bet on him,
right?
And he came through at guard. This guy was a bust initially, you know, and
absolutely
he was a bust. I mean,
he was a top 5 pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, top 10 pick for sure. I know with the Jets,
top 10.
Yeah, but top 10 pick. So it was a bust. Came in a 1-year deal. He resurrected his career, All-Pro, Super Bowl. Yeah, you're going to have to come out the pocket to get him up out of there.
Yeah. Another texter point out, this makes sense. I haven't read up on this, but the Ravens right now, when you take a look at what they're going through, at risk of losing quite a few starters, they re-signed Ronnie Stanley yesterday because it was thought, we were talking about Kansas City maybe eyeing him. They end up going a little cheaper, and they don't get Stanley because he re-signed. But the texter, they could be looking at losing 2 other quality players on that offensive line. And so, look, you go where good is. You just mentioned it. That football team runs the ball well. What is Liam Cohen trying to do here when he comes in? Reinvent the run game in the city of Jacksonville and make sure that Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby, for the time they're here, they get to see the line of scrimmage before they get hit right in the mouth. They get to get past the line of scrimmage before contact. And this offensive line's got to be charged with doing that. That's what has to happen for them to succeed. And that obviously will open some doors for Trevor. Simple as that, Leon. You know, you can.
Listen, I said that, listen, the best friend for Trevor right now would be a run game and offensive line. Takes completely all the pressure off of him. His ability to run the ball, play action, takes the shot as he may. And if he's got protection internally where he can step into his throws, not have to worry about throwing off his back foot because he's got pressure in his face, he should definitely play better.
Yeah. And all anybody wants to know for real is, can he turn the corner and take that next step? Can he be the guy that was the guy with 12 touchdowns and 1 interception down the stretch in 2022? Can he stay healthy? Because these last 2 years have ended in a bad way, injury-wise. So we'll see where it goes.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Let me give you one more big one before we break. So the Falcons, they released Pro Bowl defensive tackle Grady Jarrett today, and it really didn't take very long for him to find a new home. This is from Schefter. 3 years, $43 million deal, 28 of it guaranteed to the Bears. Ooh. So they are like completely changing their roster. You know, obviously have a new coach. So things are looking bright in Chicago.
Well, both sides of the line of scrimmage, too, because the guys they got, guard and center, over the week or late last week and then earlier today. And then going and get Grady Jarrett's that's a big hoss right there. Okay, that guy's manned the middle in Atlanta for quite some time. All right, we'll keep it going. Before we hand it off to the Franchise Show, keeping an eye on everything that's happening with legal tampering in free agency, a Mocama Beer Company Monday.
Let's take a look inside 1010XL.
Who wants the Grand Tour? That would be terrific. That would be great.
We have the drill in the morning.
Very amusing.
Jaguars today from 10 to noon.
Good.
Helmets and heels until 2.
Yes.
XL Primetime and the Franchise Show afternoons.
This is great.
Then Baloo and Hacker take you into the night.
All in one location.
1010XL.
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interests first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
Hey, this is Coach Jason Gibson of your Jacksonville Sharks. I know the importance of a strong game plan, and that's exactly what I've got with Clay Solar Installation Partners. They did the install of the solar panels at my house, and I couldn't be happier. Lower energy bills, clean power, and a winning team that made the whole process easy. If you're looking to save money and go solar, trust the pros at Clay Solar. Call Karen at Clay Solar today and tell them that Coach Gibson sent you.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's Terminix.com. That's right, Terminix it.
Your hole-in-one for men's health is Ackerman Urology. With offices in Mandarin, Middleburg, World Golf Village, and the beaches, Ackerman will get you on par for any prostate conditions and sexual vitality. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On March 10, 1963, NBA legend San Francisco Warriors center Wilt Chamberlain scores 70 points and the Warriors win over the Syracuse Nationals.
Tax season is here, and your refund can go further at Big Chief Tire. Frank Frangie here. Put the extra cash to work by investing in your vehicle, whether it's overdue maintenance, brake repairs, or new tires. Their skilled technicians will help you get the most out of every dollar. With 5 Jacksonville locations, fair prices, and trusted service, Big Chief Tire has everything you need to hit the road with confidence. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller. Hey, buddy, you look worried.
Worried? I'm apoplectic!
You're what now?
I'm freaking out, Jason. Stupid water heater crapped out, so I haven't showered since Thursday. I start smelling a little funky, blow my big corporate job interview tomorrow, I'll end up settling for some dead-end career selling spatulas on the internet.
Dude, stay cool.
There's nothing cool about a cold shower, Jason. I mean, I know how that sounds, but...
Bueller Air and Plumbing can get a new water heater installed today. The day you call. You could be smelling fresh again by dinner time.
Wait, you can do that?
Put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Is that cooler?
Oh, yeah.
Well, life moves pretty fast. If you spend much more time smelling like this, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. For
Canine Veterans Day. Navy Mutual would like to salute all active and retired canines that have served our country. Canine Veterans Day has been officially designated as a day to honor these unique members of our military. America salutes you.
Hey folks, Hicken here for Zero Res. You're going to want to beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Hey, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts, sort of like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Tell them Dan or 1010XL sent you. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean. Zero Res.
The Players, one of the biggest events on the PGA Tour, is right here in our backyard. So how much do you know about the tournament? Scotty Scheffler came from 5 strokes back on Sunday to win at TPC Sawgrass last year, the 4th player in tournament history to close a 5-shot or more gap, including Justin Leonard, who did it in 1998. Sawgrass Asset Management, specializing in high-quality growth stock and fixed-income portfolios for institutional and high-net-worth investors. A Jacksonville company proud to be involved in the community.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
My takeaway is I'm sure the fan base right now is like, what the hell is going on over there? I'm sure it is. No splash is nowhere. And I'm not concerned yet. All right? Not concerned yet. I'll be very interested to see what we do in April. But there's no volume to what's going on right now. Starting to feel a little lurky.
Starting to second guess the big three.
It's early. It's early. That's all I'm saying. It's early.
I mean,
does it make you feel any better that they gave Macari almost $40 million for 3 years?
And he started for the first time this year, right? Extended games for the first time this year in 6 seasons, right?
Yeah.
In 21, he started a dozen.
I mean, number one, he's your right guard now, people, okay? Number two, they just signed another Ezra Williams is what they did.
Ezra Cleveland.
Ezra Williams.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Same guy.
How?
Didn't start prior.
Ezra Cleveland started.
He did, right. That's what I'm saying. Prior, with the Vikings, he wasn't a starter. Right. Got here, played half a season, right? He signed him to a 39, whatever it was, $39 million deal. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's literally the same thing.
But is he the same player? Okay, if they expunge one and move on to the next, isn't that the goal? Isn't that what you're trying to do?
You know what?
As much as we ripped on this offensive line not getting the job done, you're now going to replace 3 guys in the interior part. That's at least what you're supposed to do, right?
We'll see. We'll see. You're paying a lot of money for a guy who just started his first season, which was just like a legitimate everyday starter for the first time in his career.
And he's played everywhere. So let me give you, this is from our boy Daniel Griffiths, who is like one of the newer guys on the Jags beat. Yeah, really good follow and good guest. He said, so this is career snaps, left tackles 672, left guard 832, center 683, right guard, which you're assuming he's going to be playing at most, only 272, and the most right tackle with 1,206 snaps. So the position you're assuming he's going to be playing the most of, he's played by far the least amount of snaps in his entire career there.
Yeah, guess
so
what?
Maybe you're paying a guy all this money to play out of position. I mean, that's the Jags way.
You know what this tells me? We're moving Walker Little to guard. That's what this tells me more than anything else. Joking. I mean,
maybe
at this
they
point,
sign
I
him
don't
to
care.
play center.
Right?
Maybe he could be the new center. I mean,
actually,
I don't know.
I'm thinking of that more than anything else because when you take a look at his center play, and you just rattled off the numbers there, but in the very beginning of his career, he did come in as a center and started a number of times, total of 13 starts in his first 2 years. at the center position. So that's not impossible at all. And then if you do dispatch both Brandon Sheriff, Mitch Morse retires, and you say goodbye to Ezra, well then, yeah, you look at him at a number of different spots and where he can go. Ezra, for what it's worth, 2 years of starting all 17 games at left guard up in Minnesota. So let's just make sure we get it right here. And then 11 that he had to cross-train because of injuries in the year that he was ultimately traded to the Jaguars. So he has not necessarily been what you wanted, okay? That was a Trent Baalke deal. Everyone wanted Trent to do a deal up in Minnesota to get to Neil Hunter. Instead, he got Ezra, and it hasn't really worked out. That's for sure.
Leon, is there a huge difference? I mean, I know you didn't play this position, but between a left guard and a right guard? Because he has played a lot of snaps as a left guard, but like none as a right guard.
It's not a huge difference, but you have to treat the left guard like a blindside protector as well. He's probably a lot more fluent, and he's got to be more of a fluent pass protector at the left guard position because of the blind side of the quarterback. Whereas the right guard is more of your get after it, kind of ground and pound.
A run blocking guy.
Yeah, run blocking.
Okay, well, this is also from Daniel Griffiths, real quick. His 96.9 pass block efficiency ranked only 43rd among 79 guards last year. So right around the middle.
That's mid.
mid.
Not $40 million worth.
Yeah. Okay, so he's just trying to find which one of these is legit or not. And this one looks pretty legit, so I'm just going to go with it. Jordan Schultz. Let's do a little that real quick, JJ.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jordan Schultz, who we know has been pretty solid, especially, when dusted up. What's his name at the local Starbucks of an Indy. Sources. The Jaguars are signing offensive tackle Chuma Edoga. So that's
From the
another
Cowboys.
one.
Started 10 games in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. And so he is basically, and this is another guy that we can easily ask Mike Zimmer about tomorrow. He was the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys this year. He'll be on as we're talking with the latest signings. But now you got another guy that was in Dallas the past couple of seasons, and he is now going to be looked at as an offensive tackle. That's saying to you, hey, Anton, you got to battle for your position. Walker, you got to battle for your position. That's okay, right?
Sure, absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like that. I have no problem with that at all.
And I think that's kind of how you have to look at it right now, just to see if you can get to a point where, like I said, when we just started this conversation, either with Macari or any of these guys, interiorly, you have to be better. You couldn't get a 3rd and 1, and you couldn't stop a 3rd and 1. Neither are good in terms of successful football teams. So you want to get to success, if you can't stop it, you can't get it, you ain't getting there. And so we got to see the basically renewal of all these positions. They got to challenge guys.
Yeah, because when you come off a 4-13 season, I mean, no one should be comfortable. No one should sit there and say my job is secure.
Yeah.
So I don't mind you bringing in some talented guys that can compete.
Yeah.
OTAs, mini camps, and training camps.
Yeah, it's funny. One of our texters is saying thing. You all have been begging for the Jags to get guards, and they get one from a great organization and complaining. Come on, man. And so that's what we got to look for, is that at the very least, I don't know whether you have to assume James Gladstone already had an idea off-season wise what he and the Rams were going to do if he had stayed there. You have to assume whoever was in this building under the watchful eye of Ethan Waugh was looking at what they were going to do once free agency opened up. And then they all got together in Indy, and they basically said, we're going to go underground. We're all going to be together around the clock, and we're going to sort through this. And so now they're trying to put that game plan together, and it may not all happen overnight. It may not be a cure for every ill this franchise has had or experienced over the last handful of years, a majority of the last handful of years. But heck, man, let's get it started. Let's figure out who's going to do what going forward. Use the opportunity you have to get those guys.
Just trade back into the first round and get Gray Zabel. Just do that.
I
Just
know,
do what it takes.
I know, but the point of the texter is he's looking right at you when he says it.
I know he is.
All you've been
I
doing
understand
is
all of
being
that.
and moaning about the guard, and now they did something.
And I'm not too thrilled with who they got. That's all.
Right. Really?
I'm fine to be not thrilled with who they got.
Right. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
I know. I'm just asking, but you're not crazy about the Macari. So you would say Grace Abel would move in and be better than him?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess I have no idea.
I also would have been happy if they got like Aaron Banks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, then you've got a guy that's played at a lengthy amount of time in the league and has shown he can do it year after year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think all you're ever trying to do, you're trying to stack up either youth and on the rise versus a guy who's proven over time that he can do it. Can he still do it?
I know. Okay. So you want to really know what my problem is?
Mm-hmm.
Is their number one thing this offseason should be keeping Trevor Lawrence upright for the entire season, this coming season.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you're going after guys that are just may not be guys, but they sure look like guys on paper. I'll tell you that. Just guys.
Right. If you're if you started on a football team that led the league in rushing, I wouldn't just call him just a guy. I'd call him a pretty.
I mean, he's 1/5 of that
effective
line.
Hmm?
He's 1/5 of that
line. I know that, but that counts.
It does.
Yeah, and so all I'm looking for is
we'll see when minicamp rolls around and we get a good look at him, right?
Here's the problem: is like you said earlier that you got to counter this enthusiasm. I got to counter that negativity.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because we got to at the very least we got to see what they do. Like
I'm just not going to pom wave. I'm just not.
Yeah, I'm not even asking you to, because last year I thought that Mitch Morse coming in here would be a solid upgrade to Luke Ford.
In fact, that was March Joe last year.
Yeah. Oh, I was believing. I was, man. I won't deny it. But all I want, honestly, is for any of these transformational decisions to be made, for some of them to pan out. They ain't all going to pan out. You just need a handful of them to go right so you can get some stability back in this franchise. Start knocking people off the ball. They just haven't done enough of that, and there's no getting away from it. All right, I know who's embedded and shredded and super excited.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Super Bowl or just championship weekend? Where are we at, Hayes Carline, with this football team based on the recent news that has come out about your Jaguars?
The first step to Santa Clara has been taken, Joe, is what I would say.
Yes.
Yes, and I think it's been what we kind of thought. I mean, James Gladstone said at the Combine, we're going to elevate the floor of this roster immediately, and looked at the market, which was not a great free agent class this year in terms of headliner guys, and I think that they looked at it and said that's where we're going to focus in free agency is quantity over quality, and that's what they've done. I mean, I'm surprised it's already 7 guys that they've agreed to terms with. Now, these can't be official until Wednesday, so I always try to watch it because we have seen, deals fall apart in the 48-hour legal tampering window. But, as of now, they've got 7 guys. I would say 3 of those 7 are guys that I would think they have signed with the idea that they're starters in Lewis, Macari, and Murray. And then you've signed 4 guys that I think are going to be we'll see about Dynamic Brown, 1 year, $12 million. That could be that could be a number 3 role there. We'll see what happens in the draft. But Long, Mullins, obviously those guys are reserve special teams guys. Probably not going to get a ton of snaps ideally. So anyway, and looking at it, it's 3 starters, it's 4 reserve players, and it's 7 total. I would think that they'll continue to look at that, but the draft was always going to be where they get whatever star talent they're going to get this year. It's going to come with the 5th pick and that high 2nd rounder in the 2/3. So I think solid start for what they alluded to in terms of what the plan would be.
All right, my brother, you guys are set up over at beautiful Sawgrass.
We are. It's gorgeous out here. Obviously, we had some tough weather yesterday and this morning, but it is just gorgeous right now at Sawgrass as the Haight Invitational wraps up. Tons of great collegiate programs out here from around the country. UNF does such a great job hosting it. So I think it's getting ready to wrap up. We're having a lot of fun. It's windy. The conditions are not ideal from a wind standpoint, but boy, these guys are so talented. So yeah, we'll get into that. I'll touch on it a little bit, but obviously this will be Jaguars Fast and Furious coming up on the Frangie Show.
All right, my man. We will be listening. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
So, Hayes Carline, looking at it reasonably, scientifically.
And now we're here with Jay. Give us the shot from the text line, JJ.
No, this is from Baloo's Twitter.
Yeah.
And he says, folks, these are not your mom and dad's Jaguars. And someone commented and said, building a dangerous CFL roster.
Better believe it, buddy. Better believe it. Listen, I'm all
Damn,
about
that
it.
made me laugh too hard.
Yeah. I'm a Gladstone guy right now. All right. Thanks to Mocama Beer Company. You can enjoy a delicious craft. You can pour over the decisions that were not made today with a delicious Cosmico. Whatever it might be, check out Mocama.com. You can find them on the shelves at Total and ABC. You can find them up there in Fernandina on South 8th and in Wildlight. We are done. We will recount it all again tomorrow, beginning our week-long stretch at TPC Sawgrass. Looking forward to it. Military Appreciation Day tomorrow. Big Sirs, Maddie, Joe C, and JJ. You got the Francis Show coming up next.
Everyone wants to doubt Jacksonville. Never doubt Jacksonville.
With that, game on.